All right, let's get right into it. If you're graduating sometime in the next couple of years, you need to listen up. We're about to break down exactly why the old playbook for getting a great job is, well, completely broken. And more importantly, we're going to talk about the new rules for actually thriving in the 2026 job market.
So, first up, let's talk about a broken promise. Think about that classic picture of success. Graduation day. It's a scene we all know, but something fundamental has shifted. That promise, the one that said, do this and you'll succeed, it just isn't being kept anymore.
I want you to picture this. It's May 2024 at Northwestern University. You've got 22,000 students, caps and gowns, diplomas in hand. They're full of hope, you know? They've literally worked their entire lives for this single moment, ready to go out and conquer the world.
Okay, now fast forward just a handful of months to December. A staggering 41% of those same bright, ambitious graduates were still out of a job. And let's be clear, this isn't because they were lazy. It's because they were perfectly prepared for a world that no longer exists.
Let's make this really personal. This is Jordan Liu. He is the poster child for success. Computer science major, a killer 3.8 GPA. I mean, this is the student who checked every single box on the how to get a good job checklist.
And believe me, he put in the work. Jordan applied to 273 different jobs. Can you even imagine that? The sheer effort, tweaking his resume, writing all those cover letters, just shooting them out into the dark. And after all of that, what did he get? Nothing. Zip. A big fat zero. His resume, which would have been an absolute slam dunk just a few years ago, was basically obsolete. And that's the crisis so many grads are facing right now. So, for those of you graduating in 2026, this is for you. Pay attention. You have 18 months. You have 18 months to understand what's happening and to make a change. This isn't about working harder. It's about getting smart about what you work on. So, you're wondering, what happened to Jordan? How did he go from 0 offers to suddenly getting 3 in just 6 weeks? Well, it all came down to one single insight. He stumbled upon what we're calling the specificity secret. And here's the secret, right here. This is the big idea. Companies are no longer looking for a generic developer or a general marketer. They are desperate, literally desperate, for specialists who can solve a very specific problem for them today. The era of the generalist, it's over. Let's just look at the raw numbers here, because they tell the whole story. On the left, you've got the crowd, 40,000 computer science grads, all with the same projects, all fighting tooth and nail for maybe 20,000 jobs. The odds are terrible. But then look to the right. Jordan decided to learn Rust and blockchain. All of a sudden, he's one of only 800 grads with that skill, targeting 12,000 open jobs. You see the difference? He stopped competing, he started getting recruited.
So look, it really boils down to this, and it's this simple. Specificity wins. Generic loses. Period. If you want to succeed in this new market, you have to stop following the herd and start carving out your own unique little niche.
Okay, so you get it. Be specific. But specific in what, right? That's the million-dollar question. So this next part, think of it as a treasure map. It shows you where these amazing, high-demand jobs are hiding. And a lot of the time, they're right there in plain sight.
Let's start with a major you probably wouldn't expect in a talk like this, psychology. Let's talk about Emma Rodriguez. She was graduating into a world where getting a traditional counseling job was next to impossible.
So Emma saw the huge problem, a completely oversaturated market, and she made a genius move. She pivoted. Instead of trying to compete, she took her psychology degree and combined it with a new, very specific skill, conversational AI design. Now she uses what she knows about people to build chatbots for mental health apps. And the result? $87,000 in her very first year. See, she didn't throw away her degree. She supercharged it. She found a job that was transformed by technology, not one that was replaced by it. And hey, this isn't some one-off thing. The pattern repeats itself everywhere. Take Malik Johnson, a political science major. He was looking at a long, tough road into any kind of traditional policy job. But Malik saw where the world was going. With new stuff like the EU's AI Act, he knew there was going to be a huge gap. So he pivoted. He went all in on tech policy and AI governance. He became an expert on the new rules that most companies don't even understand yet. And the demand for that skill,
It's absolutely insane. Malik got a job before he even graduated with a starting salary of $92,000. His whole job is to make sure his company doesn't accidentally break laws that are literally being written as we speak.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is great for university grads, but I want to prove this applies everywhere. Let's talk about Carlos Mendez. His story shows this exact same principle works just as well in the skilled trades.
So, Carlos started with a hands-on skill, HVAC repair, but he didn't just stop there. He made a critical pivot. He learned how to connect those physical systems to building automation, the Internet of Things. He basically learned to speak two languages, the language of pipes and ducts and the language of network protocols.
And check out the result, a salary of $112,000 a year with no four-year degree. He is living proof that the future belongs to the people who can connect the physical world to the digital one. An AI can't install your air conditioner, but it needs people like Carlos to make it smart.
So we've seen these stories. Emma, Malik, Carlos. They all, whether they knew it or not, were following the same playbook. So let's actually break down that winning pattern so you can start thinking about how to apply it to your own career.
Okay, this is the secret sauce right here. Pay attention. First, notice these aren't AI jobs. These people aren't building the AI models. They're in jobs that are transformed by AI. Second, they're all about tech plus something else. Psychology plus AI, policy plus tech, HVAC plus IoT. Third, this means your degree is just the starting line. It's about constant adaptation. And finally, and this is so important, how fast you can learn a new skill, your learning velocity. That matters way more than your old GPA ever will.
And that brings it all back to you. We've seen the problem, we've seen the pattern. So now what's your mission for the next 18 months? Because the power to completely change your future, it's right here in your hands.
Here it is, your game plan, starting right now, today. You have to stop listening to that old, generic career advice. Then, over the next 6 to 12 months, your job is to find and learn that specific skill that bridges what you know with technology. The goal is so simple. When you graduate in 2026, you walk into a market where there are way more jobs than there are people who can do what you do.
In the end, it really just comes down to this one question. Are you going to graduate prepared, or are you going to graduate obsolete? The path to being prepared is clear, but you have to be willing to step away from the crowd. The path to being obsolete? Well, that's easy. Just keep doing what everyone else is doing.
The world has changed. The rules have changed, the silicon has awakened, and it's building a new future, with or without us. The only real choice you have is whether or not you're going to be ready for it. The awakening is here.